Hi friends. Hello. Oops, cat cam's not on. It's not a real stream unless cat cam's on. Alright, we're just gonna move that up, I guess. Hang on tight, everybody. I should just tape this. You know? It would make my life easier probably in the long run. Now would it look like crap? Yeah, but who cares? Gonna MacGyver it. Meow. But now I need a counterweight. Oh my Lanta! The camera is all out of whack, you guys. Oh, okay. 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 Now you can see a cat. Cool. Here we go. Woof. All right. Thank you for that brief interruption. Yeah. Been a good week. Hope everyone's had a good week, stayed healthy. Been a lot of stuff going around. the office that I work with, they've been having people drop like flies. What is this crazy kitten doing? Aveline is playing, obviously. Desmond's sitting on the tree over here behind me, and Ezio is our current desk cat. Per usual. Per. I'm hilarious. So we're gonna try and monitor the computer tonight as things are progressing, because I'm curious as to what's causing some of the drops in my computer memory. Don't quite understand that. So we'll see if we can catch that tonight. We are continuing Agatha Christie's The First Cases. Last weekend, we discovered that Angeline is the Major and Cassandra's daughter. Right. Crazy. We also know now that there are 2 people involved, at least with the Major's death. Allegedly, there could be more than 2. We don't know yet. As far as our mind maps go, I feel like we've gotten a lot of information filled in, and like there's a couple of gaps left still, but not many. So I'm assuming we're coming up closer to the end, if not soonish. Maybe, perhaps. But yeah. Oh, that was just that was just Twitch telling me, hey, you can manage your stuff. Let's go ahead and get the game going. Let's see what... There it is. Beating up the cat tray over here. We've gotten 26 out of 50, or 46, so 56% achievements done. Still sticking with the Florette theory that I had. I think there are like 8 chapters. And I honestly do not recall where we left off. So let's see. Inga got the job for Margot. We knew that already. Means? Why would that be under the means category? No new links. Okay. Nothing kind of prompt us where to go next. Luke died at a factory strike. We found that out as well. So Elizabeth, when we first met her at the beginning of the game, was having this relationship with Luke, and we're supposed to get married. And then we found out when we met her again that Luke had died. Very sadly. So that's a connection to Ernesto, who's in charge of the factories, and Hugo, who's in charge of the unions, which is a big overlapping storyline that's going on in the background, is about the unions. Hi, Moritz. Good morning. Security attacked first. Oh, I don't think I realized that. Ernesto confirmed Major security forces attacked first at the riots. I don't think I recall that. Major tried to pay Jackie off. Jackie is a reporter. And so obviously Jackie would spill the beans on things maybe the Major didn't want to have people know about. The Major also was blackmailed, which is another complexity. We don't quite know why yet. All right, so Inga came from the women's shelter. We know that. She was prosecuted when she was young. I don't remember why. I don't know if that's significant, but I do think Florette is at the women's shelter, and that's the connection somehow as well to that original theory that I mentioned. Rahanen has been around since the beginning. Oh, Luke's sister. That's right. I forgot about that. So Luke, who was supposed to marry Elizabeth, who died. Rahanen wants revenge. Okay, so I think we're supposed to go look at people's rooms still. I think that's what we were left doing. Yeah, I believe so. How the crime's going? It's going. We're still investigating people's rooms. I think that's where we left off. Wonder if Monsieur Zack is as seemingly innocent as his brother. I should speak with him before searching his room. I guess. Seems considerate.
Monsieur Demir, I hope you are feeling better today.
Nothing a good night's sleep couldn't fix.
He's definitely, we know that he had experienced some things in the war, and so he's kind of still fighting those ghosts, which is sad.
Très bien. I wonder if you would be up to discussing certain matters with me.
Whatever you need. I lost my taste for death a long time ago, but it had to be done. I'm certainly in no rush to be carrying a dead body again, though.
Most understandable. I shall extend the same gratitude to you as I did to your brother.
You've spoken to him already. How is he?
Perhaps that should be a question you ask him yourself.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't quite understand their relationship still.
I bet he had a lot to say. He always did have an opinion on the war.
When I say your past, I refer to your past as brothers.
Yeah. He's always going to refer to the war, though, bud.
Okay, well, what did he say?
That was awkward.
It seems you both had the same sentiment for this party. Perhaps the bridges that you thought were once burnt are in fact primed to be reconstructed.
We'll see how probable that reconstruction is going to be. Until he sees my point of view, I don't know how we can move forward.
What is there for him to understand before the bond can be repaired?
He lost his friends in the war, the same as everyone. But somehow he has forgiven. I'm sorry, Detective, I can't. And Gideon just doesn't understand that.
Gotcha. After speaking with Gideon about his brother's state of mind, I think the best thing for them both would be reconciliation. There's something about Zack's story that he's leaving out, though. The death of his friends and comrades weigh heavy on him. Okay, now we have started to broach into the Nancy territory of, like, is this really your business to do that? I don't know, buddy.
Those two, close.
I'm sorry for this, but...
They must share something in common to be able to hold a conversation for the time they did.
If there is one thing I know about my brother, it's that he will not. No. He cannot be rude. He just doesn't have it in him.
Moritz asked me in the wild what is the primary diet of a Taylor Swift fan. The Taylor Swift fan, a fascinating creature indeed. While their musical taste may be diverse, their primary diet consists of pop culture gossip, social media updates, and an insatiable appetite for Taylor's catchy tunes. However, it's worth noting that a Taylor Swift fan's diet is not exclusive to music alone, as they also consume a healthy portion of memes, fandom drama, and celebrity news. Truly an interesting palette, wouldn't you say?
I thought he was going to say something about friendship bracelets. That was pretty funny. I like it. The memes, spot on. Spot on. I don't call myself a Swiftie. I appreciate Taylor Swift's music, but I'm not as invested as what you would probably consider a Swiftie. So I don't understand this whole like magnifying glass that she's been under for the last couple of months. I mean, let the lady have a relationship, for Pete's sake. Anyways, I'm looking forward to this weekend regardless. It's going to be, I think, a good time. I was trying to come up with the most absurd question. I mean, that was pretty out there. I swear, I thought he was going to say something about friendship bracelets or glitter or I don't know. It was a surprise how he answered. I appreciate it though. They're your points, Moritz. You can use it to ask David Attenborough whatever you want.
Was it not your brother that punched Monsieur Hagen?
Ah, that's different. He was asking for it. If you put my brother in a room with 5 socialites like her, he would work his way around every single one of them, offering his full attention and finest manners.
I don't remember what the original question he was asking him. Cool.
Merci for your assistance, monsieur.
All right, now we get to like nosy and look around. Cigarette butts.
Huh.
Room is littered with mess cigarette butts discarded right next to the ashtray. Funny story. Oh, wait. While we wait, the hospital I used to work for had a bus stop kind of thing outside of the hospital. Basically, it was a covered area that had a bench, and patients would very frequently roll themselves downstairs with their oxygen tanks to sit out under that thing and smoke. And then immediately once they returned back inside, have some kind of event that would cause everyone to have to go down and emergency basically take care of them. Yes, I will pet him. So obviously it was a problem, and we at the hospital staff started to call it the butt hut because that's where people obviously went to smoke. We had to obviously do something to keep that from reoccurring, but so they're putting a policy to you can't smoke while you're on site. If you leave your room to go smoke, you'll get one warning, and then if you do it again, you're gonna go home. It was just too much liability, honestly, in the end. But butt hut is every time I see the word cigarette butt hut. Oh, look, we get to look at another fireplace. How exciting.
Huh.
Boo, 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 boo. Ceremonial dagger. Whoa.
Oh.
From his time in the war. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Another gramophone. What a joy it is to have music in one home.
Moritz asked me, ethically speaking, was Akasha the villain of the Queen of the Damned?
What?
Ah, the complex character of Akasha in The Queen of the Damned. Ethically speaking, one could argue that she was indeed the villain. As an ancient vampire queen, her thirst for power and domination led to immense destruction and chaos. However, one could also question the morality of the vampire world as a whole, where violence and immortality are inherent. It's a debate that continues to intrigue fans and scholars alike.
Okay. Why did I think Akasha was different character? Wow. Okay. That's a very specific question, Moritz. Ooh, that pie looks good. I want pie. That was for my wife. Sorry. I hope that that was the answer they were expecting then. That's great. Okay, why the heck do we need to look at this, Poirot? Why are we looking at a plant? Okay, I guess we have to ask him another question.
Always got time for my favorite detective.
Moritz, I'm assuming that's a book. What's that book? Just out of curiosity.
The dagger. I wondered how long it would take for that to become an issue.
Listen, man, it's pointy and sharp. Of course we're gonna ask you about it.
I shall give you the opportunity to explain the reason for it being here before I jump to any conclusions.
It was going to be a wedding gift for Gideon. I've maybe not been the best brother in recent years.
Why would that be a good gift?
Make up for some of it.
Here, honey, you're getting married. Here's a knife? A dagger? I'm sorry, that's bigger than a knife. Here's a dagger.
After what happened to the Major, I thought it was a bit tasteless.
I would agree with that.
You did not see it fitting to tell me you were harboring a rather sizable knife in your room?
Figured maybe we'd come around and see it. I don't know.
I wouldn't say harboring. And I wasn't expecting to be a suspect in a murder.
Everyone's a suspect.
Merci for your assistance, monsieur.
Looks like we might have a new connection. Oh, we do. Right. Zach's got a bunch of bubbles. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. I don't know why these would be a connection.
I cannot see the logic in this.
But I thought I'd try.
This will not get me any closer to my...
I didn't think so. Oh no, computer. Wake up. Pocket knife. We didn't really find anything in Geddon's room. Honestly, nothing. It was almost too clean. And that does make me a little bit more suspicious now.
Order and method.
Okay, fine.
That...
Oh, I was close.
What a revelation.
The brothers' estranged relationship is enough to suggest they would not have worked together. Right. So we have a new weapon. All right, we've got at least one more to even this one out. So I think we're almost through finding all the potential weapons. And I mean, the rest of this looks pretty filled out as well. So maybe we're almost there. I think I looked at everything in here. I'm pretty sure I did. To the next room. Okay, cool. I don't think it would let me do that unless I actually could. There was something about it. Becker's room. Without him here, I'm free to search it. Oh, let's go. His room's messy. He's a messy Batsy. Computer, come on. Hold on. I know there's a way to do this. I need find my... My fans aren't turning on is part of the issue. Oh, that's not the one I want. Here it is. Yeah. Oh, boo. How do I... What do I... Ugh. Oh, that's what I needed. Thank you. I know this is like super exciting, you guys. I need it to crank it. Because I do think that's part of the issue is the fan isn't cranking. Hey, Bon Bon. All right, let's keep going. Book.
Oh.
Inside notebook, hasty scribblings regarding meeting with who I assume Ernesto. Curious. Note.
Huh.
Seems he was attempting to write a speech of some kind unsuccessfully, though. I wonder, does this fit a pattern of behavior with Hugo? You underestimate the power of man's defiance. Your men, you are in a position... If you do not retract your men, your weapons may beat our bodies, but they will not bruise our spirits. Money will not save your soul. Interesting. I wonder if he's talking about the security forces.
Aha.
Yep, okay. Look at this photograph!
Ah.
With so many siblings, it must have been difficult for Hugo to get attention. Hmm. Nothing pointy. Interesting. Why do we have no pointy things in this room? We have one connection. Yeah, I think that's this one.
Things are beginning to become...
In Jackie's opinion, she doesn't value Hugo particularly highly. Would he collaborate with anyone else? Jackie unlikely to collaborate. I think that's fair. Wait, we have a new link? Oh, okay. A new link?
Is there something I am not seeing?
What am I doing here?
Noff. Hello, Bon Bon. Let's see.
I must
Nope.
act on thought.
I don't know. Jumpy in your old age. Shut up, Bud Bud. I'm not old. I don't know.
I must take a different approach.
Yeah. But what? Okay, why? Why would that be a connection?
I should not be surprised by my own...
Hugo and Ernesto confirmed each other's alibis. It's possible they'd have colluded to murder the Major. Can I find anything to support this? Okay. Well, okay. Ernesto likes Cassandra, and the Major obviously had feelings as well as a child with Cassandra. So, what would they get out of that, though? I don't think that makes sense. Business-minded Monsieur de Silva. I guess we need to talk to Ernesto first, like everyone else.
Monsieur de
Denial
Silva,
isn't
I
a
am sure you
river.
understand the necessity for this type of search.
Not really, Detective. Your speech was rather spirited. But it did not give me much faith in your investigation.
Okay, sir.
I have not had my abilities questioned to my face by one of those I suspect of a crime before.
Oh, backhanded. All
Well,
right.
if you wish to prove me wrong, you should hurry up and find Felix's killer.
And I hope, with your help, monsieur, I shall.
Yes, I helped him invest some money. Unfortunately, he was not the businessman he thought he was.
Madame Vandenbosch had a very similar view. At least he could have taken solace that you were both in the same position.
I think you're confused, Detective. It was Edwin that lost his fortune, not I.
Okay.
Forgive my naivete. If you were helping him make viable investments,
Right.
would you not have seen the same opportunity for yourself?
I told him about the opportunities. I did not tell him to put his whole family's wealth into it. The prospect of doing good meant more to him than his profit margins. He was bound to fail.
The business declared bankruptcy.
It did, until it was purchased for a fraction of its worth and made the new owner a small fortune.
Is that you? Beginning to see De Silva's more ruthless side, it sounds as though the Viscount was trying to at least make a positive change, but perhaps he was missing De Silva's cutthroat edge. Okay, but who's the new owner?
Everything that I want to say on that.
I understand, monsieur. But
Sorry?
what I would like to know is, was the late Viscount aware of your feelings towards his wife?
Excuse me, detective, but you have crossed the line.
Yeah, whatever.
Cross the line like an attempt to bankrupt a business partner and friend so that you'll be able to swoop in and impress a certain target of your affections.
Ooh.
You make such ridiculous accusations without a shred of proof.
Your reaction at the mere suggestion is proof enough, monsieur. While I cannot arrest you for betrayal of a friend, I can hope your conscience does not forget, and that will be punishment enough.
Well, that's fine if you want to take a look at it later. I think that it's temperature driven, and obviously with my door shut and the heat on, with my heater on being all day, it's not running hot, but when it gets warmer is when I see the degradation happen. It's fine for the time being. De Silva's actions are not criminal offense, but if there was a penalty for deception and deceit, he would surely receive a life sentence. If he has gone to such lengths before, what would stop him from committing a similar act again, this time to the Major?
He didn't have much to speak of. I was always surprised at the life he lived.
Surprised in what way?
Well, considering it wasn't that long ago he came to me asking about work, I didn't think he was in such good financial shape.
He's really far to pet right now. To
You
reach.
offered him a position.
Nothing that he was willing to lower himself to. That's when he began talking about what else he could do for me. If you can call what him and his team did security. For the money I paid, I did not expect them to be so reckless.
It was a considerable amount you paid him?
There's no need to divulge amounts, but it was certainly more than was expected.
One would expect him as this business of De Silva's caliber to have agreed to a price of the Major's services. Why would he allow the Major to barter more?
He said they were all professionals, but I saw nothing of the sort. He said he had worked with them all in the army as their superior officer. They were men that could be trusted.
But that was not the case?
I had not even met them before they arrived on site. They brought their own equipment. They looked like they knew what they were doing.
What would that be exactly? What equipment would you possibly need?
And this equipment, it included the weapons that injured and killed the workers?
It was not much of a choice, detective. I said they didn't need them, but Felix said it was essential. He said he knew better.
The more Monsieur talks, the shadier his dealings with the Major become. It's beginning to sound as though the riots were no accident.
That is all.
Okay, let's poke around, sir. A letter stating the blackmailer would reveal information of his questionable business dealings. Oh, he got a letter. Bless you. It's bath time now, apparently. At first, you may question the nature of this letter, but by its conclusion, you will know that what you have fought so hard to keep hidden could be far from it. You have spent years feeding off the hardworking backs of others and offering nothing in return. Your workers continue to take their lives into their own hands day after day with your shoddy, damaged, dangerous machines for a fraction of what they deserve. Deal after deal is made, and while your pockets become fatter, lining them with more your blood money, it is your workers that must pay the price. The mistreatment and pain you have caused does not only reside in the factories that you own, but the house that you live in. You do not value the lives of those that allow you to live in the opulent life that you do, and I will not allow that to continue. I can no longer sit back and watch as you disregard any sense of integrity or morality, continue to remain on your self-made pedestal, lording over those that deserve so much more. It is time you paid the price for your crimes, and the cost is 5,000 francs. It is a small price to pay for my silence, for if I do not receive it before Friday, it will not be cash you are paying, but rather years behind bars. Bring the money in a small brown parcel addressed to Monsieur Cordier at the office of Rue de Bourla. Give it to the cashier and leave. If you do as requested, you will not hear from me again. You may continue your life of luxury. It is obvious you do not value the lives of others, but I urge you to consider what yours is worth. So that reminds me of something else we find out. Florette works for Ernesto, and she got the job through Margot at the women's shelter. I'm pretty sure we learned that last time. Right. So yeah, the major, what's her name? Angeline and now Ernesto all got letters.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, there's no way that we're not going to look at that. A contract for a partnership between Ernesto and Hugo. It's missing Hugo's signature. Agreement of Belgium. Both parties agree. Current workers' strike shall cease. Factory floor. Machine operators shall return to their positions. Terms of above contract shall be implemented and taken directly. All right. I was going to say, I think there was a plant. Oh, no. Okay. Because apparently we got to look at every gramophone. Oh, and a letter opener. Razor sharp letter opener, almost brand new, lies discarded on the floor. All right, so we got a new one of those. Let's talk to Ernesto.
What?
Ooh, that one's going to be a conversation. All right, let's try this.
Excuse me?
I do not think it is unreasonable to question why you would feel the need to bring a letter opener with you.
Really, Detective? If I had stabbed a man with it, do you really think I would have left it lying out in my room?
Why not? De Silver's correct would be his stretch. I mean, yeah.
Yes, and no one asked him to.
But surely it is beneficial to both parties. Your profits must have been affected.
There are barely any profits to speak of.
Why have those talks not taken place and the deal arranged?
Monsieur Beckers has made no attempt to speak with me and offered no counter-offer. The ball is in his court, Detective.
Although De Silva's wages and treatment of staff is in question, it sounds as though he is at least trying to resolve the issue. Surprisingly, unlike Mr. Beckers. All right, now we got to do this part.
I have spoken of a potential blackmail ring, and yet you still kept your letter to yourself.
Right.
It is none of your business, and it is nothing more than a cheap trick to have me admit something that is not true.
If that were the case, it would be strange for you to have kept the letter and brought it with you, would it not?
Your persistence is a trait I do not enjoy.
Remain blunt, if not curt, with his response to my questions. Perhaps it would be best to act in a courteous and empathetic manner, so he be more forthcoming.
No reason, Detective. Merely saving you from wasting your time.
I will be the judge of that.
Okay.
I would like to know about any and all evidence that may help my investigation. I trust there is nothing else you deem a waste of my time.
Of course not, officer. It's not as though you think I'm harboring some illicit secret. The letter was a pathetic attempt to intimidate me. Nothing more. I have never heard so much rubbish in all my life. I value those that work hard and deserve it.
That suggests there are some that you do not respect.
Yes, well, why should I praise someone for doing a poor job?
Sure.
You make me sound like some monster.
Monsieur, the letter does not only discuss your questionable business dealings, but also cases of abuse against your staff. Both accusations that must be taken very seriously.
Detective, there is a difference between telling a member of my staff what to do and abuse.
Sure.
And it is you that decides where that line is drawn?
In my house? Yes, it is.
All right, that was not as intense of a conversation as I thought it was going to be. Monsieur does not like being pressed on the subject of how he treats his staff. If he had nothing to hide, there should be no need for such reaction.
Please stop calling it that. I treat all my servants exactly how I always have, and no one has complained before.
That does not mean your behavior is appropriate.
They have one chance. If they are not doing the job they are hired to do, they are gone. You would be surprised how many staff expect an easy ride.
Did not expect Monsieur to treat his staff the same as his friends, but I also did not expect him to treat them like stray dogs.
Is there a specific member of staff that may have expected such a ride?
There is one girl.
Ah,
a
it's
new maid.
Florette.
I didn't expect great things from her, but Comtesse de Vos promised me she could do what was required.
Perhaps the position she's finding for these girls is not a best fit.
That is all for now.
I'm like 90% sure that's Florette. All right, let's do some links. All right, we've got a couple of bubbles filled in. Blah, 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 blah. One link. I mean, like, that seems obvious.
Come,
Okay.
my little Grace Alice.
Yeah, okay. Blackmail letter?
This will not get me any
Oh,
closer
come
to...
on. I think it is related.
I must take a different...
Okay. Okay. I was close.
Another success.
I'm doubtful this duo would collaborate. Would Ernesto's deal with another member of the house? Perhaps someone who never confirmed his alibi. Unlikely to collude. Okay. We have a new link. Ernesto unwilling to pay blackmail. Oh, that's right. I knew that. Never mind. Let's see. I'm still...
Order and method.
There's too much blank space right here. Something's missing. There's not a connection to Jackie. I mean, I just feel like we're just
Is
trying to
there
get something. What little nudge are you going to give me?
I cannot see the logic in this.
Really? Why? Why is this a connection?
Some would say a lucky guess.
Why would that be a thing? Ernesto doesn't strike me as the sort of man that would ask for help no matter how important. Ernesto may have asked Margot for help? What? Right. Oh, fart in a stick. There's a link in here.
Come, my little grey cells.
Okay.
I must act on thought and fact.
That's the only new one in here. That's why I'm really thinking it's related. Ezio, honey, you're snoring.
Order and method.
Okay, this was already here. Oh, wait, I see. Oh, I see.
The pieces of the puzzle.
Margot is making her shelter girls do the dirty work, finding dirt on members of social elite. Margot? Oh, I like it. All right, so this one's done. There's a big blank spot here. I wonder what we're missing. All right, talk to Ernesto some more.
What is it now, detective? She approached me. I thought it was rather brash.
Oh.
In what way?
Assuming that... When he came to me, I told him that with the factories on strike and my profits pouring down the drain, I had nothing for him. But he said he could help me get them all back to work and the factories earning. His rates were steep, but he said he knew what needed to be done, and he was prepared to do it. A week passed and they were all still on strike. In fact, even more had joined them.
What if the major did that on purpose?
He made excuse after excuse, demanding more and more money for the job to be done. But he never actually told me what he was going to do.
Well, that sounds like bad business, man. Congrats on first, Abydos.
The riots.
I had no idea they were going to charge them like that. How was I meant to know?
Thanks for the like, Logie.
And even following such a tragedy, he continued to demand money from you.
He said if he wanted my silence, it would cost. Do you have any idea what it could do to my livelihood, my name? If it got out that I had paid the so-called security that did that.
Oh, look. I have a thing. Hey guys, I have a remote that controls my fan. Let's see how that does. Okay. He said if he wanted my silence. Do you want a cookie? Shush. It would cost you have any idea? So-called security. Okay.
I have every idea, monsieur. You hired a militia to take action against your own workers. You deserve whatever name is chosen for being so morally bereft in your decision-making.
Ooh.
I didn't know that was what
Great
he was
story.
going to do.
Compelling and rich.
You must believe me.
I have to believe nothing but the truth. And the truth, monsieur, is that it is not only the Major that has the blood of those men on his hands. That is all for now.
The temp's coming down though, which is good. All right, so let's look at. We have a new link. Margot approached Ernesto, offer help. And there are no other bubbles. Okay. I don't know why this would be a connection, but let's do it. Oh, gosh. Margot may know more than she's letting on if she has inside link with the staff in the house. I have found no clear evidence of guests working together in any capacity. What has clear is Comtesse connection to the staff. Thank you. Could there be any something more to the relationship? I even said, I think last weekend, why are we not talking to the staff? Objective complete. Oh, we gotta go talk to Inga. Let's go talk to Inga.
Is there something you need, Detective?
Yeah.
She helped me at the shelter and with this job.
That I am already aware of. What I am not is what else she tasked you with.
Pardon, Detective?
You know what I mean.
I know that your position as a servant in this house is not your only job. What did Comtesse de Vos ask you to do while in this house?
Hi, Sky. Congrats on third. I'm here, the person you've all been waiting for. How's everyone? We're good. Trying to cool down my computer.
She said I had to do what she asked, or I would be back on the street. I didn't want to do
Ooh.
it. If anyone found out, I would be the prime suspect.
Oh! Vendenbosch be aware of young Ing's past. She worried that they would accuse her. What was asked of her must be related to her past life as a thief.
Merci, mademoiselle.
Oh boy. Let's see. She broke in?
Is there something? I should not be surprised by my own skill.
Inga admitted that her work in the house is not wholly honest. Got a new link. Safe access?
This will not get me any closer.
He lost his key. Oh, that's right.
What a revelation.
I thought it was irresponsible Archibald to lose his key, but now its disappearance makes sense.
Is there something you need, detective?
Yeah.
Nothing. She said I was to take nothing.
If it was not something she wished you to take, what was it?
She wanted me to find out information about the family and Monsieur Hagen.
Oh,
Why
she
did
knows
she request
about
that?
Angeline then.
At first I didn't know, but when I heard about Mademoiselle Angeline being blackmailed, and then the Major, I knew she had used what I found.
Margot's the blackmailer. Perhaps my suspicion of Sterling's involvement with Major's safe were incorrect, and his key was not lost, but stolen.
I knew Monsieur Archie had a key, and it would be easy to get it from him.
You knew that the Major asked Monsieur Sterling to access the safe from time to time, and if anything was ever discovered missing, he would surely take the blame.
That's true.
I never took anything. I only told the Countess what I had found.
I don't actually know, Sky. If it does, it just seems like that's related. Either that's just game. It might be this game.
And that was?
About Monsieur Hagen and the Madame's relationship, and Angeline.
I'm sure the Countess was pleased to hear such valuable information.
Mm-hmm.
She said I had done a good job, but I needed proof. That's why I went back and got the letters last night.
So it was Inga that beat Madame van der Bosch to the safe, but why would they be left in such precarious fashion?
I fetched the letters again and took them to the Countess last night, but she shouted at me and said what a stupid girl I was.
You were only doing as she requested.
She said it was too dangerous for her to have them with you around. That's when I returned them to the study. I thought I heard someone on the stairs, so I just threw them back. It was dark as I dared not turn the light on. Someone would have seen it.
Trying to slot a key into a lock in the dark is no easy feat. That explain the scratches on the safe. Like, I could just imagine her trying to get the key in and like, it shouldn't be that hard. If you really need to keep track of temps, I would recommend using good overview of PC parts. Oh, okay. I've got MSI Afterburner, and I've been looking at that while stream's been going on. And I did just adjust a setting, and that seems to have helped a little bit.
Merci, mademoiselle.
But I'll check that out too. I don't know. I haven't had issues until the last couple of games. I thought there was something in this one for us to look at. Maybe not. Okay, so we have a link. There's a hidden room. Wait. Oh, I forgot about this. There's a hidden room. Uh-huh. So the link would be
I
maybe?
must take a different approach if I am to uncover.
What about this one?
I cannot see the logic in this.
Okay. Gotcha, it might be dust in the PC. Yeah, it's probably time for it to be dusted. Honestly, I might do that tomorrow. With 6 cats in the house, it's bound to have some dust in it. Let's see. Oh, cool. My headphones just turned off. Okay, and now it's back. Cool. Gonna be wild in that PC? Yeah, I think it will. I think it will. Let's see.
I must actually.
Holy cannoli, Abydos! This scares me.
Another success.
Wonder how many secrets the house holds for Inga to find. Is trying to uncover secrets?
Magnifique.
If there's somewhere in this house where a secret lies, it is surely to be found in a hidden room. Heck yeah, let's go. Where is it? My suspicion of Comtesse's connection with Inga is correct. She was using the young girls to find out anything and everything she could about the family, where Comtesse not need even get her hands dirty. I am jumpier, but that was really kind of loud in my defense. Let's go talk to Inga and tell me where the secret rooms
Is
are.
there something you need, detective?
Yeah.
That's all. I swear. I heard Monsieur Archie and Monsieur Felix talking about a storeroom, but I haven't found it.
A storeroom?
Is the Countess aware of this room?
I told her it was somewhere in the house, but I didn't know where. She wasn't happy with me that I hadn't found it yet.
What's so important about this room? I believe if Inga knew of the location of the room, she would have been forthcoming. It may be naive on my part, but she's already incriminating herself and has nothing else to lose.
Merci, mademoiselle. Your honesty today has helped me greatly.
I suppose that I will lose my position at the house now.
Probably.
That is not my decision to make. But when the whole truth is revealed, it will not be the pawns the law looks to convict. We shall be coming for the queen.
Oh. That was a little dramatic. Alright, we have a new link. Vanderbosch secret. Maybe in hidden room. Okay. I would have thought that was the motive connection.
Things are beginning to...
Such a calculating web of lies and secrets. What motive could possibly justify such devious actions? Finally, unmask the blackmailer. Yeah! Angeline and other recipients of the letter may no longer live in fear. Comtesse de Vos shall pay for her crimes. Yay! Now what? Ooh, cutscene. Never mind, not a cutscene.
Mademoiselle, merci for coming.
Have you had a breakthrough, detective?
I have. Finally, I have the news you have awaited.
Please, detective, don't hold me in suspense. Oh my, I feel faint at the thought of knowing who could have done this to us.
It is said to keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. It is Comtesse de Vos that is behind the letters.
I don't believe it. What about the Major's letter?
Not only his, but a letter to Monsieur da Silva.
She was blackmailing him as well? Detective, I just don't know what to say.
Take a moment, mademoiselle. It is a lot of information to take in.
I just don't understand why she would do such a cruel thing. She has never been particularly forthcoming with it, only that she was homeless for some time and that she was at the women's shelter before here.
And it is there that the Countess abused her power and manipulated her to uncover secrets of the family.
All this time she has been working for Margot, doing her dirty work?
I am afraid so, mademoiselle.
Good story so far. Mademoiselle is in a state of shock to learn that such a close friend of the family has betrayed them in such a cruel way. It must be devastating.
Is Maman aware?
No.
You are the first I have told, mademoiselle. Next will be the authorities.
I'm afraid that we'll have to wait.
There's no phone line.
and we will. I want to see her punished to the fullest extent of the law. But we cannot telephone anyone, as the lines are still down.
Right.
Monsieur Archibald informed me earlier. I had hoped they would be working again. Last night's snow must have caused more damage than expected.
Last night? They have been done all weekend, Detective.
What? 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 Okay, hold up. What? We witnessed Archibald take a call to send up to the Major's study. And now we know that wasn't true. Archibald's in it? What?
Detective? Are you okay?
No!
Detective Poirot?
A scene acted out on my behalf to throw off the scent. If I believed that the Major was still alive at the time, I had no reason to investigate anyone's whereabouts before. This is true. Anyone being Monsieur Sterling and his staff.
Would you like me to fetch you a glass of water, Detective?
My apologies, mademoiselle. I was taken by surprise for a moment, but I have regained my composure. A glass of water is not required. Would you excuse me? Merci, mademoiselle.
The family. Uh-huh. Patience has grown thin. The guests and the staff of this house think it is acceptable to lie to my face with question and obstruct my investigation, but no more. We shall see Monsieur Sterling and his staff fare under some pressure. Wow. I've been lied to for the last time. My suspicions initially led me to guess, but now firmly placed on the staff. I asked this last weekend. Monsieur Sterling and Mademoiselle Rahana cannot hide behind their lies any longer. All right, we know Rahana wants revenge because her brother Luke was killed in the riots that the Major was a part of. Uh-huh. Damn it, I want Florette to be involved somehow. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we're gonna go, talk to Monsieur Sterling. And he also was involved in moving the body and... Oh, it looks like Elizabeth's on her way to see me, but it's such a late hour. She looks scary as hell. What the heck is this?
Mademoiselle, what a pleasure to see you.
Detective,
You sound glitchy, honey.
It is a rather late hour to be wandering the halls.
Oh, yes, of course. I do not feel myself, Detective.
If that is the case, you should be resting. Allow me to help.
No, that's quite all right. I will see to my duties and return to bed.
What?
Lizzie, excuse me, Elizabeth. Lady Van Den Bosch has been waiting for some time now.
Uh-huh. How he interjects like that. Interesting.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Detective Poirot was just...
Yeah.
I'll see to the detective. You just head on up. Off you go.
Hi, Nay.
Good night, Detective.
Bonne nuit.
Bonne
mademoiselle.
nuit. Oh my goodness, you gotta get the fish in. Elizabeth is certainly not herself. I thought the death of the Major had brought up uncomfortable memories of her beloved Luke, but it may be something else.
Hello there.
Hello there.
I'm sorry about her, Detective. As you can see, she is still not back to her usual bubbly self.
Mm-hmm. You're suspicious, Archibald.
This weekend seems to have taken quite a toll on her.
She'll be right as rain in a couple of days. Now, what can I help you with?
As if by magic you appeared when needed.
Yeah, uh-huh.
I would like to speak with you and the remaining staff. If you could gather them in the staff pantry.
Storeroom.
At this hour, Detective? Is that really necessary?
Yes.
I shall be the one that determines what is and what is not necessary, and this is very much the former.
As you wish, Detective. I'll see if Inge has finished preparing for breakfast.
And Mademoiselle Rihanna?
Yes, of course. I'll fetch her from the kitchen. Elizabeth may be some time with the lady of the house. Perhaps you'd like to start with us?
Yeah.
Very well. I shall speak with Mademoiselle Elizabeth when her duties are complete.
While I am gathering the staff, Mr. Beckers is in the library. If you wish to join him, I could bring you both a nightcap.
No.
I wish to keep a clear head, but there is something I wish to discuss with Monsieur Beckers.
Our opportunity to confront Beckers about his dealings or lack thereof with De Silva without being disturbed. Congrats on last night. To the library. I got me an Arno boy. He's so cuddly. Oh, there he is. I was like, where is he? I can't see.
Monsieur Beckers, it is rather late. The other guests have already retired to their rooms.
I didn't even see the time. It's easy to lose oneself in a library this impressive.
That is something we can agree on, monsieur.
I suppose I should be heading?
Un moment, monsieur. There are some matters that we must discuss.
Yeah, don't run away, buddy.
Oh. I'm not sure what you mean.
Her proposal to make you somewhat of a star, a figurehead for the working man. What would you call that?
There was certainly no talk of making me a star. That is not the type of man I am. She wanted to write a piece on my work with the union, and I was happy to oblige.
Beckers has always appeared to have workers' intention at the forefront of a decision, but perhaps the thought of being remembered for something great was too much for him to pass up.
My speech? I'm not sure what speech.
You may save your false ramblings for your next audience. I am aware you spoke with the Major yesterday.
Whoever told you that has it wrong, Detective.
Please, monsieur. The truth.
Okay, fine. Yes, the Major and I spoke, but it was not for long. I was trying to convince him to speak with Ernesto. It's time we brought the strikes to an end.
Yeah, well, why? What?
And that was best approached by a shouting match?
He wouldn't listen to what I said. I spent so long preparing how I was going to convince him, but men like him are only swayed by one thing. Money.
Beckers is not wrong. Had he tried to grease the Major's palms, perhaps he would have been more successful.
It is said that money is the root of all evil, but it can also be a rather powerful bargaining chip.
Well, he was bargaining with people's lives. If he had acted sooner, none of those men, my men, would have to die.
Nancy, your games are 50% off for Valentine's? Heck yeah.
A deal?
And that is why you did not sign it?
I didn't sign it because the workers deserve so much more, not his pathetic attempts to get them back to work.
Did you think there was a chance for a better deal to be made?
I know there was. He's a pompous swine that cares for only himself and filling his pockets.
I'm sure I've heard the description of De Silva before, at least something similar.
Mademoiselle Conrad can be quite convincing, can she not?
She has certainly taken several wealthy business partners by surprise with her knowledge and prowess. She knows how to use her womanly powers to get what she wants.
Ned is giving them away.
But she did not surprise or use you.
Me? Used me? Don't be ridiculous, detective. There were no games played at my expense.
Beckers has a way with words. As a fan of his own verse, perhaps I should allow him the opportunity to speak and open up without too much interruption.
No, she just reminded me of what I was fighting for. And I stand by that. It was an insult.
I don't know if that was the right one.
A rather bold move to make such a decision on your own.
Okay, it was.
I may not be perfect, but I've done everything I can.
Your efforts fell short in every respect. You claim to be the voice of the people, but you care about no one's voice or benefits but your own.
Oh.
It's not as easy as just signing a piece of paper, detective. It is a heavy weight to bear on one's shoulders. I consulted with others.
You yourself spoke of Mademoiselle Conrad's cunning in business.
And I told you, I was not one of her targets.
Tell me then, what was it she reminded you of? The acclaimed man of the people you would be known as if you pushed the factory owners for more?
It wasn't like that at all.
From where I am standing, it was she that was manipulating the terms of the deal, and you in the process. You were merely her pawn.
Okay, yes, I know. I shouldn't have listened to her. But what else could I do? Remain an unknown my whole life? I didn't mean for anyone to get hurt.
Drama.
It may not have been your intention, but we both know the result. You rolled the dice with those men's lives for fame, and you lost.
What does that have to do with anything?
I have often wondered about the competition siblings face in a large family.
When you're young, it is the best feeling to know you have family that will stand by you, without even being asked. It is not until everyone starts carving their own path that you realize you're walking yours solo, and those that were beside you are now miles away.
Aw.
My older brothers were the athletes of the family. They both played soccer, and were the infatuation of every teenage girl. I'm sure you have seen the type.
Oui, monsieur, but I can assure you that was not I.
Then there was me. Quiet, timid, a shadow of the Becker brothers. My voice and very presence was forgotten and ignored. Nothing I could say or do would ever reach the bar they had set. But I always knew I was destined for great things. Years passed, and now that I no longer stood in the colossal ombre of my brothers, I could become my own man. When the position of union leader was posted, it was my chance to finally be heard. You hear politicians speak of the little or the common man? Well, that was me. And I knew what we wanted and what we needed. When I spoke, others listened. I held their gaze with a sense of pride, a sense that what I was doing was for the greater good.
Get comfy. There you go.
It was supposed to be my crowning achievement. Lead the men to victory over the money-grabbing oppressors. But instead, all I did was lead them to their deaths.
Monsieur, it was not at your hands that these men died. The blame cannot lie solely on your shoulders. Those responsible will be punished for their crimes. That you must trust.
Don't you bunny hop my feet, my hand, whatever. Damn. Becker's story is one of fighting to have one's voice heard, be it a single one or one of the masses. I'm afraid he may be remembered for what he did, but not in the way he hoped.
great story. Compelling and rich.
That's right, eh? Yeah. So Elizabeth knows something. All right, down to the pantry. How do I get out of here? I can't remember. Sure. Yeah. While speaking with Beckers was not the reason for me being up at this hour, he was able to fill in some blanks regarding the Major, but not in getting closer to discovering his killer. Perhaps the staff living quarters will. Yes, let's go poke around some more. Okay, so that's downstairs. Meow. Staff quarters. There we go. What are we gonna find in here? Logs. Logs. Decent supply of logs. I just hope the staff also get to make use of them with this weather. Abandoned clothes. Rather luxurious jacket. Initials FH. Felix Hagen? Are these scruffy boots his as well? Why would they be left here, though? Luggage.
Huh.
A war medal that I assume must belong to the Major. The items I found are most intriguing. Require explanation that I believe the staff can give. She'll meet them in the pantry. Oh man, there's no more to look at.
What can we do for you?
You can help me by telling the truth, and in the process, help yourselves.
Sorry, Detective. It's a bit late in the night for riddles.
Okay, didn't feel like that was a riddle. Pretty straightforward.
It is no riddle, monsieur. If I do not receive the truth, you shall all be charged as accessories to murder.
Detective, I think maybe you have been locked in this house for too long.
Gaslight! We have already what?
You have told me a version, and now I require honesty.
Two links on this page. This is true.
The pieces of the puzzle are
Theory that the Major had been killed during dinner was nothing but a ruse. Why are the staff covering the real time of the death? I bet it was like the night before. Staff covering for the time of real death. We have one more link. Hugo saw the Major outside.
Some would say a
but
lucky
it may
guess.
have looked like it. Major would not have left such a fine coat in the staff area. Someone must have worn it. More importantly, however who wore the Major's clothes. So the person we saw outside in the snow, we couldn't quite see who it was. What is the icon in the upper left corner? That's the links, how many links there are on this particular mind map. Right now it shows 0.
Monsieur Sterling, is there anything you would like to add to your story?
I'm not sure what you think I have done.
Let us not...
From his associate. I've already told you, Detective. I don't know who it was.
Phone call.
Do not worry yourself on such details now. I suppose they were lucky to have called when they did. Otherwise, they may not have gotten through at all, with the telephone lines being down as of yesterday.
Aye, Detective.
Sterling is no fool. I believe he is aware. I suspect him of something, perhaps more. Some carefully worded questions are all I need from him to slip up.
Whiskey?
You took a bottle of whiskey to the Major. You spoke with Monsieur Demire en route.
Aye, of course. It was a bottle he picked up from his last visit to Scotland. Rather smoky number from the Highlands. He was saving it for a worthy occasion. Drowning his sorrows must have been fitting enough.
First, he does not remember the bottle at all. As if by magic, he recalls the exact details.
Or was it the one from the West Coast? You'll have to excuse my memory, Detective. It's not what it used to be.
Sure.
Oh, you found it. Thank you, Detective. I've been looking everywhere for it.
Doesn't answer why you have it.
If I had lost a war medal, I would not stop until I found it.
It's not what you think. I was...
Exploiting a dead man's military achievements for your own personal gain?
Ooh.
Nothing of the sort. He asked me to clean them up. I must have dropped it into my pocket when I was putting them back. An honest mistake.
Never have I heard such a pathetic excuse to explain a stolen item in one's possession. I would expect a better lie from an infant. What?
I wouldn't know. Probably.
Your father was in the military for many years.
Right away.
That is what you told
No
me.
trial, no nothing. Right to jail. Right away.
Right away. That's right.
He was.
And your family still keep his medals?
They were sold.
And why was that, monsieur?
Is my family on trial now, Detective?
Only you, monsieur. And I repeat my question.
Because we needed money.
Voila.
Sterling was aware of the medal's value when it found its way into his belongings.
No, he keeps them safe with some of his old military documentation.
Is that a typical job for the head butler?
He trusts me to do a good job. I told him I used to clean my father's, so he asked me to do the same.
And where does he keep these items?
In the safe.
In the storage room.
Oh, snap,
I
the
know
storage
where
room.
everything is, so it's just easier if I fetch them for him as and when he needs them.
Do not recall seeing any military memorabilia or keepsakes when I was in the storage room. Oh, wait, we were in there already? Could there be another?
It's certainly better than my last.
You are paid a fitting wage for the work that is asked of you?
I'm sure the lady of the house would not want me discussing it, but I should not complain.
That is not the most convincing answer.
It is not.
Between you and I, we all work very hard here, and it would be nice if we were rewarded for it.
Seems Monsieur Sterling is trying to convince me, as he has himself, that his light-fingered actions are justifiable due to his petite wage he receives for his honest work.
Please don't go anywhere. If I require more information, I shall call on you again.
All right, we have a new link in this one. All the bubbles for Archibald. Hasn't noticed the lack of calls? Okay.
Come, my little grey cells. I must act on thought and fact. Order and method. That...
Oh, okay. What's with the boots?
The pieces of the puzzle.
I should have known at first glance those belong to a member of the staff, but who? What?
I must take a different approach if I am to Come, my little grey cells.
I put these together.
Another
Thank
success.
you. A staff member dressed in the major's clothes and took his position out in the snow for a guest to see. Why would they do this? Because they killed him the night before. Impersonated the major. I don't know what's in here. I'm not seeing anything of interest. Okay, fine.
Mademoiselle, I shall keep my questions brief.
Brief.
I don't know what else I can tell you.
You have been honest with me so far. All I request is that you continue to do so.
We did.
I'm already aware of Mademoiselle's involvement, but I'm not sure she also connected the major's murder.
It was frantic in the pantry. We were working hard to make sure everything was up to scratch.
Go on.
Then Liz burst in, asking for Mamore's help.
Her help with what, exactly?
I don't know. She took Liz to one side, and I was needed in the salon. We spoke just after that in the pantry.
You did not question what she needed help with?
I was too busy. I love Liz, but she sheds a tear at almost everything these days. Although, I have never seen her look so pale.
Looked pale when I saw her earlier. She did look like a ghost. I would agree with that. I understand the amount of work that goes on into keeping a house of this size running, but Madame cannot expect the staff to work if they are ill. Perhaps Rohanna can clear up the reasons for her panic.
Merci. I shall return if I have any further questions. Mademoiselle, I shall be as quick and precise with my questioning as possible.
Okay. What do you need? Merci. He was a good man. Taken too early.
Forgive me, mademoiselle, for not extending them earlier, but I was not aware of your relationship.
You think she's pregnant? I don't know. Elizabeth's pregnant. I don't know about that.
He was my only brother. And he died doing what he believed was right. If I ever get my hands on who took him from me.
I understand why she's so angry for her brother to be taken from this world at such a young age and in such a violent manner. Violence cannot be met with violence, but I am not sure Mademoiselle feels the same.
You say the riots, but it was the strike he was part of. They started the riots, not the workers.
By they, you are referring to the security forces. They were brought in to keep the peace.
Security, huh? They were brought in to make an example of them. It was all peaceful until they arrived.
Why would they need to make an example?
So that the workers would stop rallying. No one is going to go on strike if they think they'll get killed. The security you talk of were armed and ready. The workers were pigs to the slaughter. What chance did they have?
It's obvious Mademoiselle is upset about her brother's death, and rightly so. The events were so, as Mademoiselle describes, I cannot comprehend how security forces were able to get away with such despicable acts of violence. Ooh.
Yes.
This was before or after Archibald took him a bottle of whiskey?
Before.
You are sure?
It may have been after.
The whiskey is kept in the cellar with all the alcohol?
It is.
Then you must have noticed him going into the cellar and returning with a bottle through the pantry, no?
Yes, I suppose I did. It must have been before then.
Only took one question for Mademoiselle to doubt her own story. What I still cannot see is why the need for the lies.
What is there to say? Being locked away in the pantry, I don't see her for most of the day.
That may be, but she came looking for your help before dinner was served, did she not?
She wasn't feeling well, that's all.
And she came to you?
I told you, we are a family here. The girls come to Mama Reh if they have a problem, and I fix it.
When I saw her earlier, I must admit she was not looking herself. Perhaps I should check on her.
No! Just leave the poor girl.
What?
She'll be fine after another bowl of my homemade soup. She just needs her rest.
I'm sure Rahana is a loving mother figure to the staff, but her eagerness to keep me away from Elizabeth again does not sit comfortably.
Merci, mademoiselle. That is all for now.
All right. We have a new link. Okay.
What a revelation.
Bingo. How can either of them forget something so important from only the day before? Still another link. Silly,
this
but
will not get me any closer to my...
Someone impersonated this.
Is there something?
Okay.
I cannot see the logic in this.
Okay, that was close.
Things are beginning to become...
Both Archibald and Rhiannon played parts very well. That is, until they became complicit. Why does staff feel they need to fabricate stories? Ooh, we still have a link? Oh my god.
Some would say a lucky guess.
Almost had to relay their stories back to them. I obviously cannot trust a word they say. Why are staff hiding the truth? And we still have a link because of this.
I should not be surprised by my...
His revelation, I had not expected staff were involved in the murder. While Inga is guilty of her own crimes with blackmail, Sterling and Mademoiselle Rana, integral part of covering up, obscuring the truth of how the Major was killed. Oh, goodness. Staff are already suspicious to begin with, but confirm their involvement. All the staff members involved? Maybe. 3. I'm close to revealing the truth about the Major's murder, but I must understand the roles of each and every person involved before the final puzzle is solved. Okay. 3 links in this one.
I cannot see the logic in this.
Okay.
I must take a different approach if... Magnifique.
Okay, there's one. I cannot imagine the pain they are feeling losing Luke. His memory will live on in their hearts. I mean, we've got to get down to here, so...
This will not get me any Is there something? I must act on thought.
Okay, looked white coming down the stairs, disconnected from her peers. That's a weird one to connect.
Order and method. That is...
Oh. What?
I should not be surprised by my own...
Confident Inga isn't a part of the cover-up. It's clearly been a focus of the other staff. So this is the other link.
The pieces of the puzzle are...
Elizabeth looked pale, and the other members of staff are busy with their duty. She must have found the body, but did she play a part in the murder? Huh? Kitchen maid and the butler. Yeah, no, I agree. That they look the most obvious right now. But why is still not making sense? Other than the Luke connection.
Magnifique.
Although her duties are primarily focused kitchen and pantry, I don't recall seeing her. Wasn't seen after Elizabeth found the corpse. Oh gosh, there's 2 links?
Another success.
Archibald's acting skills came to play to cover the member of the staff, but who?
Come, my little grey cells. What a revelation.
Okay, impersonating the Major was Ronan's role in the plan. Why is it necessary? I am not sure. Why did she feel the need to cover for Elizabeth? There's no... What, Elizabeth? Would Elizabeth really murder somebody? I mean, yes, she would be the most upset about Luke's death that the Major caused.
I must act on thought and... Come,
I
my
don't
little grey
know.
cells. Order and method. That is the...
Okay.
Things are beginning to become clear.
Circular. Stage phone call was Archibald's assignment. He went to great lengths to protect Elizabeth, but why did he feel the need to cover for her? Well, Inga's Yes, we already knew this. Objective complete. I now have the pieces. I must return to my room and place them together until the results reveal itself. Oh boy. We're in the end game, you guys. So...
Loud noises!
What was... There were loud noises? Oh my goodness. Meow. Okay, what would be...
I cannot see the logic in this.
The poker. I mean, that seems like the most likely...
I must take a different approach
Okay,
if
fine.
I am to...
Fine, fine, fine. Fine. Fine.
Some would say a lucky guess.
How could I have allowed this to slip through my grasp? Elizabeth is the murderer. Well, that was quick. Jeez. Okay. Can I believe I did not see it, blinded by my own trust? When I look back now, the clues were there, staring me in the face. Spent my time chasing connections between the guests, their motives, their agendas were more than enough to raise suspicion, but while distracted, I failed to notice one absent member of the household. What I still could not grasp is why. I promised myself that after that fateful day in the capital, I would not let my judgment steer me adrift, but once again, it's left me looking like a fool. There's nothing more that could be done tonight. I must at least try to rest. My head is preparation confronting Elizabeth in the morning. Ah! The truth. What in the world? Has an elephant escaped and made its way to the second floor?
Victory screech!
It sounds as though it's coming from above me. Is that the storage room? Oh, I hear violins, buddy. I thought that was the attic. New music? Let's go to the storage room. Oh, okay. Hello? Clattering around the dead of night? Archibald's up in the middle of the night, making some amount of noise. I must find an extent of his behavior. Yeah, I would try to be a little bit, quieter, buddy. Cool.
Monsieur Sterling.
Oh, Detective, I was just...
What?
Please, I eagerly await to hear what reason you give for being in the storage room at this hour.
15 months. Let's go O.
Yay! Hi, Spice! Thank you. 15 months. Yay! We're in the end game now, Spice. You're about to watch the ending.
How?
Hi.
A butler's job is never...
I am no fool, monsieur. You have spun enough stories this weekend.
Yes, you have, sir.
Honestly, Detective, you don't trust anyone.
It's not his job.
And with good...
I've been thinking about my time with the family.
I often think on fond memories, but it does not take me to a storage room in the middle of the night.
There are many memories held within these walls.
Monsieur Sterling sounds as though he plans on leaving the house.
I didn't realize the noise I was making.
Obviously. Were you preoccupied looking for another of the Major's medals?
Oh, damn.
Of course not. I already...
No, monsieur. You attempted to dupe me again into believing one of your stories.
Please, Detective. I know you know how it ended up in my possession. I was just trying to get some extra money together to send home. I can't lose this job. If Lady Van den Bosch found out...
Theft of a medal would be the very least of your problems.
Deceive? I'm sorry that I lied to
The
you
phone.
about the medal.
The phone. Cat, sit your butt. Sterling remains steadfast and refused to acknowledge what he has done.
Would you care to explain the fake telephone call? It was purely for my benefit, no?
Why would I fake a telephone call?
Don't act dumb.
The same reason that Mademoiselle Rihanna dressed in the Major's jacket in the snow, to allow not only the guests but me to believe the Major was still alive.
I didn't kill him, Detective.
I know, monsieur. But I also know that you helped the one that did to cover their tracks.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. We were just trying to help. She had no part in it.
What? What?
You never let on. How long have you known it was her?
Monsieur, I am Detective Hercule Poirot. I only show my hand when I deem it necessary.
You will be taking her away then?
Probably.
She will stand trial for what she has done.
But you don't know the full story. She is just a servant in this house. If she is arrested, that will be the end for her.
If Mademoiselle was only protecting herself, as you both have claimed, she will surely be found innocent.
The Major's military storage box.
The one that stored his medals.
Amongst other things, yes.
And those other things are?
Pointy
I had
things.
to protect her. If you found it when searching the study, you would have carted her off then and there.
Whatever it is you have hidden, it will not remain that way for much longer.
Sterling is obviously hiding something. I should perhaps conduct my own search instead of relying on his cryptic
I need
messages.
a moment.
Okay. This wasn't there before.
Huh.
From around the house, abandoned in a box. Why is a saint carving here? Probably because is it? No, I can't leave. Okay.
This will not get me any... Magnifique.
The attached carving may be related to the door this room that would explain Archibald's presence. Secret room accessible within the storage room.
What a revelation.
Ooh, I presume they exist within here somewhere. Secret tunnel! Inspect the storeroom. Look at the door. I see it. I see it. I see it. Aha. The hidden room. Yes, we love it. Secret rooms. Cat, I need you to sit down. It seems there are more secrets in this house to be discovered. Military knife, kniff, prestigious looking, likely belonging to the Major.
Nay, every mum asked me, what is the sweetest victory? The sweetest victory is the one achieved against all odds, overcoming obstacles and adversity. It's the triumph that proves resilience, determination, and perseverance. Whether it's personal or professional, the sweetest victories are those that leave a lasting sense of accomplishment and pride, just like the sweet taste of success after a challenging journey.
Wow. Okay. The last will and testament of the Viscount seems he truly loved Angeline. I declare Viscount. Whoa. You don't get to sit up here now either. I declare sound mind last will express my wishes. In the event of my death, I appoint my wife as the executor, leave the remaining wealth to my only daughter, Angeline. Any doubts, expense of my last illness, blah, blah, blah. They paid from the account to my daughter, Angeline. You are the apple of my eye, the brightest star. Never allow your light to fade. To my wife, Cassandra, thank you for your many joyous years. We have laughed, we've loved, we brought most precious gifts into this world together. I trust you will protect her and prepare her for the future. Okay. Nothing earth-shattering out of that. Expensive lighter. Looks to have, unfortunately, been through a war. Military service box contains letters and keepsakes. Okay, let's see. Okay, we've done that. In the lighter, unrecognizable symbol, the military knife that has the stain on it, the will. Viscount left the belongings to Angeline, not Cassandra. So Major was building a militia. Wait, did we read that? I don't remember reading that, but sure. Rose engraving.
Things are beginning to become...
The lighter must belong to the Major. The army symbol all but confirms this, but don't I already have this? Yeah, that was in the...
Some would say a lucky
garden.
guess.
It's certainly Major, meaning the other ones is not. Talk to Archibald, okay? I mean, duh.
Another success.
Murder weapon has been found. Elizabeth must have used this in the study. Okay, talk to Archibald.
There is no use lying anymore.
No.
He always had his regiment lighter that he received in the war on his person.
And yet, it was not his regiment emblem that was engraved on it.
My father's. It must have fallen out of my pocket.
Oh.
You still have it, Detective.
Monsieur, you have stashed evidence, manipulated a crime scene, obscured my investigation, and yet it is a lighter that you worry about most?
If it is my path to end up behind bars for what I have done, so be it. It is Elizabeth that you cannot allow to be locked up without the truth being told. I have heard how you fought for that young maid before. Fleurette, is it? I only ask that you do the same for Elizabeth.
Although the cases differ greatly, I can envision the similarities how Elizabeth was treated by those in position of authority, even before she is tried. This is my oath as an officer. I'll uphold justice and fairness, given a chance to prove her innocence before the courts.
You found...
Even the secret area that has been created here is not concealed enough to stop Detective Hercule Poirot.
I couldn't just leave it at the scene for you to find.
The Major was killed by his own knife. The knife that protected his life during the war, would eventually be the one that ended it.
It was in his holster when he attacked her.
Yeah.
He had hold of her arm. What else was she meant to use to get him off of her?
Why would he attack her, though? Imagine the Major wouldn't have given up so easily. She must have come in close proximity to reach it. Perhaps he did attack her, as she claims.
She didn't plan any of it, Detective. She was only defending herself.
That is what Mademoiselle told you?
She did, and I believe her. You think you knew the Major, but you had no idea. He was a monster and had more secrets than all of us combined.
That may be true, but that does not excuse what she has done.
Put yourself in her shoes for a minute. If a man like that had attacked me the way he did Lizzie, I would have done a lot worse to him.
Elizabeth has told Sterling a version of the events that suggests she was attacked. I struggled to believe she would make such a story up, and then I also did not believe she could do such a thing to commit murder.
I need a moment.
All right. We have a link. Okay.
Is there something I...
Okay. I don't know. I don't remember reading any of these things, but wow. Killed prisoners of war, dishonorably charged, not getting a pension.
Come, my little
Okay.
cells. I must act on...
What?
I should not be surprised, but...
If the only thing I found was Archibald's lighter, he must have collected something else. What did he collect from the garden? What? I mean, that would have to be the murder weapon.
Pieces of the puzzle off.
Archibald dropped the murder weapon from the window, collected it, then hid it in the secret room. Gotcha.
There is no use. When you asked me yesterday about seeing someone out there, I thought the game was up.
That does not explain what you were doing out there.
When Lizzie took me to the study, the knife was still in the Major's chest, and I knew I had to get rid of it. I dropped it out of the window, knowing no one would be going outside. It was fine for the time being, but I couldn't risk it being found when the snow melted.
So you collected it under the cover of darkness and stowed it away in here where you thought no one would find it.
After your questioning in the pantry, I knew you were onto something, and I couldn't leave it here.
And where did you plan on moving it to?
Honestly, I don't know.
Collecting the item and hiding it to save Elizabeth, he must truly want to protect her. Okay. But like, what now?
Aha.
What else is there to do in here, buddy?
There is no use.
Okay.
Why what? Why I would risk it?
Exactement.
Because she is family. If you were in that position, you would do the same.
I can assure you, monsieur, that I would not.
Then perhaps that says something about you, Detective. I would do anything for her. For any of my staff.
Even if it means crossing the boundaries of the law?
Without...
The lengths he would go to protect someone is admirable, but when those lengths break the law, that are in place to protect the innocent, they cannot be ignored.
Aye, Detective. But please, you have to help Lizzie. It was all an accident. She doesn't deserve to spend the rest of her days behind bars because of that man.
If she is put behind bars, it is because that is what the courts have decided upon.
Detective, you can't be so cruel.
It is not cruelty, monsieur. It is the law.
Something about a chocolate shop. Okay, I have all the pieces to deduce why. Now I must allow them to put together. Okay, here we go. Got 2 links. After finding the documents in the hidden room, starting to fall into place why he may have killed him. Okay. Why? Yes. Okay.
Is there something I am not... This will not get me any closer to my goal. I cannot see the logic in this. Some would say a lucky guess.
Major's financial struggle must have left him in a need of source of income. Who could the Major have turned to in the time of his need?
Magnifique.
It was the only way to guarantee. What could he do to ensure the job was complete?
What a revelation.
Secure his payment, the Major must have ordered the attack. What were the consequences of ordering it?
Another success.
Yeah. Unfortunately led to the death of Luke, and all for his greed. Who would have been most affected?
Things are beginning to...
Elizabeth has lost more than anyone involved. She may have sought her revenge. Okay.
I must take a different approach if I am...
I don't know why this stuff's up here.
Order and method. That is the way to... I must take a different approach if I am...
Okay. What?
I should not be surprised
Oh,
by my
that's what the
own skills
blackmail
of
is.
deduction.
Okay. Information would destroy his reputation. Motive for blackmail. Gotcha. Elizabeth doesn't seem like the vengeful type, but signs are pointing to her seeking revenge for her Luke. I don't know if that tracks 100%. If I'm to confront her, it must be my best and my little gray cell's most alert time to try and rest. Okay, who cares? I have no time to wallow. Must confront Elizabeth and hopefully know the truth.
Detective Poirot, I'm glad you're awake.
Bonjour, mademoiselle. It has certainly not been a night of peaceful sleep. There is something that we must discuss.
Please, detective, I'm not sure I can take any more surprises like last night.
I'm afraid this may be the most upsetting of them all.
You have found Felix's killer, haven't you?
I have.
Detective, please.
It was Mademoiselle Elizabeth that was behind them.
You must be mistaken. Elizabeth could not do such a thing.
I assure you I am not. It is something I spent much of last night deliberating. When you spoke of the telephone lines being out of order, it made me question the conversation I thought I had heard Monsieur Sterling make with the Major before connecting the call to him.
Mm-hmm.
But it hasn't been working all weekend.
Right.
Exactement, mademoiselle. That is when I knew I had once again been lied to.
She was meant to be resting in the staff quarters. She has not been well.
I am afraid that was yet another lie, orchestrated to keep her from incriminating herself.
Why would you think that, detective?
I only managed a few words with her before we were quite abruptly interrupted by Monsieur Sterling.
Mm-hmm.
I must admit, he has a habit of speaking over the other staff.
It was much more than merely disturbing our conversation. It was done with the intention to prevent Mademoiselle saying something that she should not.
So, Elizabeth killed Felix, and then Archibald helped her cover it up?
In its simplest form, oui. I have heard it directly from the horse's mouth.
You have spoken with Elizabeth already? Did she admit to it?
Not Elizabeth, but Monsieur Sterling.
I wasn't. What were you doing in there, detective?
Oh.
It was Monsieur Sterling that I found in there. I was taken by some surprise to hear anyone awake at that hour.
What on earth were...
He claimed he was merely reminiscing of his time with the family.
You don't believe him?
It did not take long for me to uncover the truth of why he was there, and the location of the Major's murder weapon.
Hidden area?
A room that held all of the Major's secrets.
I had no idea. Did you discover the reason for his blackmail?
Mm-hmm.
I did. Were you aware he was dishonorably discharged from the army?
Dishonorably? What does that mean?
Really? Try to be as delicate with the news of the prior actions.
Yes, Gideon told me about the conversation you had. It is really quite upsetting.
Zachariah was adamant of the Major's cruelty during the war, but the extent was not known until now. He killed a number of prisoners, men that were friends of Zachariah.
Surely not. He would not do such a thing. They must have been trying to escape.
I am afraid not. They were in fact unarmed.
Oh, detective.
It is the reason he was discharged, denied his military pension, and I believe the reason he fled England.
Mm-hmm.
He had been such an important part of my life for so long, but I feel like I hardly knew him.
Well, there's more to that, and we could probably tell you, but probably won't.
In a sense, you said it was she that killed him.
It was her hand that held the knife. but he was quite insistent it happened in self-defense.
In all of the years I have known her, she has barely even raised her voice. I cannot believe she would do something like that out of malice.
The whole truth cannot be known until Mademoiselle Elizabeth has told her story.
Headphones disconnected again. There it is. I allow my perception of her character to conceal any thought of her involvement. It seems I am not the only one.
Will you allow me to be present?
I think that is an excellent idea. I hope your presence will calm her and will perhaps allow her to speak more freely.
Please, Detective. I know she has done a terrible thing, but I beg of you to give her the time to explain herself.
I will offer Mademoiselle Elizabeth the fair trial that she deserves, as I would with any suspect.
Thank you, Detective Poirot.
Would you bring Mademoiselle Elizabeth to the study where we will not be disturbed?
Of course, I'll find her immediately.
Oh boy. Sterling has already told me about the events that have occurred. I do not believe she would have done it. What she did, if she had not been attacked, pushed to the point where she feared for her life. I must listen to her story the truth, and only then can her punishment be determined.
Mademoiselle Elizabeth, merci for joining us.
Miss Angeline said you requested to see me urgently.
Pretty metal that they're going to have that discussion where she potentially stabbed him.
We have some serious matters to discuss, and I would like to waste no further time.
Oh, yes. Still not quite myself.
I was surprised when Monsieur Sterling hurried you to assist Madame Vandenbosch last night.
I should not have avoided my duties for so long. The house does not stop because I'm feeling a little under the weather.
That is true, but you cannot be expected to complete all your tasks if you are not in the right frame of mind.
Honestly, Detective, it was best for me to not sit and wallow anymore. Yes, that is where he spent his last moments. Standing shoulder to shoulder with his fellow workers.
The resulting riots were a terrible tragedy, one that I hope we will not have to see or experience again. Something that could have been avoided had the Major and his team done what was required of them.
Nobody deserved to die that day. Not my Luke. Have you been able to uncover who the blackmailer is?
The blackmailer's identity has been established, and they will pay the price for their crimes.
Wonderful news, Detective. You can put it all behind you now. You must be thrilled.
Why is she's being weird?
I would not say thrilled, knowing that such a close friend has betrayed us.
Mademoiselle is correct. What I have learned over this weekend is that people are not always as they appear. While they may give an impression of being a friend or ally, they can in fact be something completely different.
And, what of the Major's killer?
Well, Mademoiselle, that is why I have asked you here now.
I'm not quite sure what you want me to say, Detective.
Your honest opinion is all I ask, and, s'il te plaît, do not hold back. No one else felt it necessary.
We only spoke when there was something in the house to be done. We did not speak of interests or pastimes.
You knew of his work with Monsieur de Silva?
I only know what is required of me to know, and that is very little.
Again, weird.
But you were aware of his work as security at Monsieur de Silva's factory.
I was.
The factory your beloved Luke worked at before he was cruelly taken from this world.
Yes, Detective. Detective? What kind of question is that?
It is a straightforward one.
Yeah, it's a question.
Mademoiselle, if there is something you wish to tell me, now is that time.
I'm sorry, Detective. I just don't know how to answer it.
Let us consider what we know of the Major. He fronted the militia that attacked the workers at the strike. You were aware of this?
I...
You finally had someone to blame for Luke's death, Someone conveniently located in the same house, alone in his study.
No, Detective. It wasn't like that.
Tell me what happened with the Major on the evening of his death.
I was only in here trying to prove what I heard Mr. Beckers say. I was going to report him, I swear. Miss Angeline, you believe me, don't you?
I want to. I am still trying to understand it all myself. Why don't you start from the beginning?
I was delivering Miss Angeline's dress to her room when I heard Mr. Beckers arguing with the Major in his study.
Mm-hmm.
They were ever so loud. I thought the whole house would have been listening to what they were saying. Mr. Beckers was talking about the factory strikes and how it was the Major's fault. He told him that if he didn't own up to his crimes, he would go to the newspapers.
I cannot imagine the Major would have taken kindly to Monsieur Becker's threat.
He didn't. He called him some rather uncouth names before Mr. Beckers left and went downstairs. I made sure to keep out of sight. After the altercation between the Major and Master Gideon, you went to speak with him outside, and I thought I could look around his study without anyone knowing. I had to know for sure. If it was true, he deserved to be held accountable.
And did you find the proof you are looking for?
I found a payment from Mr. De Silva, but there was nothing incriminating about that. I was so nervous. I felt like my heart was beating out of my chest.
And then you saw the blackmail note.
I recognized the writing on the envelope. I couldn't believe it. How could he do such a thing to Angeline? To the family that had taken him in?
Oh, what?
Common sense would determine the Major was another victim of the blackmailer.
If I'd have used common sense, I wouldn't have been snooping around alone in his study in the first place. I heard the footsteps in the hall, and before I could move, the Major was standing in front of me, demanding to know why I was going through his belongings without permission. I tried to come up with an excuse, but nothing came out, and when he saw the letter in my hand, it was like Dr. Jekyll turning into Mr. Hyde. I tried to move around him towards the door, but he hurled something towards me, and it crashed against the wall.
That would explain the damage to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
I froze. I have never been so scared in all my life. I thought he was going to kill me there and then.
And you thought you would beat him to it?
Oh, Detective, you make it sound as though I had it all planned. He lunged forward and grabbed me by the arm. I tried to push him away, but he was too strong. His grip just got tighter and tighter. If only you had seen the look in his eyes, I dared not even scream. I saw the sheath on his belt. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't want to hurt him, but he wouldn't let go of me.
So you took your opportunity to put an end to it all.
To scare him off.
I just wanted to get him off me. I didn't want to hurt him. I reached for it and I jabbed it at him. His grip instantly loosened and I ran straight out the door and didn't look back.
You did not even look to see what state you had left him in?
She had just been attacked, Detective.
Oui, please. Continue.
I ran down to the pantry looking for Rahana. She took one look at me and knew something was wrong. I explained to her what had happened and she went to find Archie. She said he would know what to do. We went back to the study.
Archie.
He was still lying there, motionless. Archie said that no one would believe me. That if someone like me killed someone like him, I would be sent straight to the gallows. He left the letter so you would find it. He said that if people knew what the Major was really like, then they wouldn't care what happened to him.
So I am to believe that it was Monsieur Sterling and Mademoiselle Rihanna that cleaned the scene and orchestrated a plan that included a fake telephone call and dressing as the Major so that he may be seen. You had nothing to do with that.
I swear I had no idea that is what they had done. Archie just told me to stay out of sight. I am no master criminal.
Then Monsieur Sterling and Mademoiselle Rihanna will be charged for obstruction of justice and impeding my investigation.
Please, Detective. They were only trying to help me.
Are you farting on me, sir?
If they wished to help you, they should have brought all of this to my attention immediately instead of committing more illegal acts.
Surely you haven't forgotten what happened with Florette. She was only accused of stealing a bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
I killed a man.
It is a day I have not forgotten, mademoiselle. Even for a moment.
Without your help, I don't stand a chance. Please, Detective Poirot, you are the only one that can help me.
Oh, Elizabeth, Why didn't you come to me?
I didn't think you would believe me. I felt so guilty. And when it was announced yesterday that he was a victim of the blackmailer, I wanted to tell you everything. I came to find you last night, Detective, but Archie stopped me.
What do you mean solve it? It's literally been solved. Oh, jeez. Looking for proof.
Order and method. That is the...
All right.
I cannot see the logic in this.
Okay.
Perhaps a... I must act on thought.
Oh, they want to connect that first.
The
Okay,
pieces
fine.
of the puzzle
Okay.
are...
Confirms Margot's claim. Solve the case. Yay. What are we doing? Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, yes. I don't know where it is.
If you have been honest with me until now, I ask that you continue.
I'm sorry, I really don't know. Archie dropped it out of the study window and he said he would deal with it. I couldn't bear to touch the thing.
I have the knife. I believe that her reaction does not know what became of it. Unaware of the efforts to mask what she had done, he was not lying when he said he would do anything for her.
Please, I was only protecting myself. I didn't want to hurt him. He just wouldn't let me go.
Oui, mademoiselle. I know. Mademoiselle tells quite the harrowing story.
I cannot imagine the Major acting in such a way, but Elizabeth could not make up such a story.
After learning what I have about the Major's character this weekend, I would not question the lengths he would go to in order to keep his secret hidden. I know that you share a close bond with Mademoiselle Elizabeth, but you cannot allow your personal feelings to taint your belief of what took place.
She has committed a terrible crime, but she will live with that for the rest of her life. She is not a cold-blooded killer.
If what she says of the Major's attack is true, she acted in self-defense, and in the law's eyes, a crime has not been committed. I will do everything I can to make sure her story is heard and a fair trial is conducted.
Believe the version of the events are true. Major, having fallen in a fit of rage at the prospect of secrets coming to light, he attacked her and drove her to do what she had to. She put herself in a dangerous position. A small part of me that commends the duty she felt to find justice, the other workers. If the telephones are working now, I must call with the findings. With the remaining snow, it may be some time.
Mademoiselle, it is time I address the house.
Slow moving.
Are you sure? What will you say? What if they do not listen?
I can assure you, they will.
To be fair.
Elizabeth
To be
was
fair.
right, though. She's just a servant. What if they...
Mademoiselle, when Detective Poirot speaks, they will listen.
All right. Well, simmer down, buddy.
Would you ask the guests to convene in the library?
He's getting a little too big for his britches.
Of course. And what of the staff?
I have told Monsieur Sterling to remain in the staff quarters with the others. When the authorities arrive, they shall be dealt with. You have been of great help to me throughout my investigation, and now that it is over, I have one final request.
You only need to ask.
While I am speaking with the guests in the library, would you watch over Mademoiselle Elizabeth in my room?
You don't think she will try and escape, do you?
In her position, I do not know what she might try. But I trust with you there, any potential ideas of such a thing will be squashed.
Oh boy. Oh my god, it keeps going. We know the end. Like, what?
Detective, you have spent more time making us sit and wait for you than anything else.
Madame van den Bosch, if you think I have spent my time focused on anything besides uncovering the Major's killer, you are sorely mistaken.
I'm sure you will be eager to share your findings with us then.
All in good time, Madame.
Oh, jeez.
Firstly, to understand the truth of what has occurred this weekend, one must know the timeline of events that not only preceded the Major's death, but succeeded.
We are all well aware of what happened before, Detective. You can save your breath.
You are only aware of what the guilty parties wanted you to believe, but now I shall apprise you to the true events. The reason for us all being here, you know. The altercation between Monsieur Demire and the Major, you know. The body of Monsieur Hagen was found while we were all sat enjoying a most delicious meal. That you also know. But what was kept from us all was that his body lay on the study floor for far longer than was thought.
It was that servant. She found him.
S'il te plaît, monsieur. It was indeed young Inga that found the Major's body lying lifeless in the study.
So it was her.
No,
Monsieur,
shut up.
I will not allow for any further interruptions. I return to the Major's body. If we are to believe the scene that we were presented with, the Major must have been killed during the first course of our meal, a meal that none of you left, even for a moment. Speaking in the evening, you all confirmed one another's alibis, and although there was doubt in the validity
Right
of
away.
some, I
No
confirmed
trial, no
that
nothing.
they were
Right to
indeed
jail.
all
Right
true.
away.
What I could not understand was how a man came to be found dead, and every guest accounted for at the time of death. That is until I questioned the latter. Monsieur Beckers, I shall now allow you to speak.
Oh, okay.
You saw the Major smoking a cigar in the snow. Is that true?
It is.
False. You saw what you were meant to see. Someone in the Major's coat standing outside, giving the illusion that the Major was still very much alive. Monsieur da Silva, on the afternoon of the Major's death, do you recall hearing a telephone ring?
Now that you mention it, I have not heard a single ring all weekend.
Correct.
Correct. The telephone lines have been down for the duration of our stay, meaning the telephone call that was received and promptly directed to the Major's study was yet another act of trickery and deceit. But it did not end there. When I entered the study for the first time, it was obvious someone had already been there and falsified the scene to stage a burglary and clear away important evidence, including the murder weapon. What followed was an investigation that had already been hindered. But even those lengths were not enough to derail me for long.
Oh my god.
I think we have all had enough of your self-praise, Detective. Perhaps you would like to tell us who killed him now?
No, he wants to hear himself
Madame,
talk
as
more.
I'm sure you would expect, it is not as simple as that. What many of you do not know is the discussion that was had between the Major and Monsieur Beckers earlier that day.
What has that got to do with anything? I told you I didn't kill him.
That I know to be true. What you do not know is that it was not only his ears that heard your spoken words.
I hope you are not implying I had something to do with it.
No, madame, there was another. Mademoiselle Elisabeth. You are all aware that the Major was hired by Monsieur de Silva to front the security during the workers' strikes. What very few of you know is that it was the Major's order that instigated the vicious attacks on those unarmed men and resulted in numerous deaths, including Mademoiselle Elisabeth's fiancé, Luc. Monsieur Beckers confronted the Major, declaring that he was to hand himself in. That is what Mademoiselle Elisabeth overheard. Now, knowing the truth, she waited until the Major was away from his study. After he stepped outside following the confrontation with Monsieur Demire's fist, it looked to be the perfect opportunity, or so she thought. The Major returned and found her looking for the proof she required to hand him over to the authorities.
If the maid bumped him off, why hasn't she been arrested?
The events that followed in the study are not those of a cold-blooded murder, but one of a young girl that had no other option but to protect her own life.
Sounds to me, Detective, like you have taken a shine to this young girl and would rather protest her innocence than arrest her for murder, the crime she has committed.
Jeez, this is gonna make for a juicy story.
No.
Mademoiselle, I ask you this. You have seen the Major's anger before.
What if I have?
How do you think he would have reacted if someone was to find proof that he had committed a terrible act, and that if made public, would surely result in his incarceration? Exactement.
It is quite the story you have told, Detective, but all I have heard is that Elizabeth overheard a conversation blaming the Major for her fiancé's death, and she murdered him in revenge. A servant killing a man that is as revered as he was. She will face the noose.
I am not denying that a man has lost his life, but it is not the crime of murder that you all believe. While the Major did not deserve to die in such a way, it was his actions towards Mademoiselle Elizabeth that drove her to defend herself in any way she could. Mademoiselle Elizabeth will be punished, but we will let the law decide the severity of her punishment.
She has played you like a fiddle, Detective, acting the innocent victim. She will be arrested and hanged for her crime, like every other cold-blooded killer.
Here. Give her what she deserves.
The girl has got to pay for what she's done.
Damn. They all have forgotten their own perceptions of the Major. I cannot allow Mademoiselle's sentence to be negatively influenced by those in the house. I must help them see how their actions... Why? Perhaps I should remind them of their participation in not only the worker strike, but the result.
Those of you that are calling for the hanging of Mademoiselle Elizabeth, have you forgotten the roles you played? Your actions have been far from innocent.
Look, Detective, I see where you are going with this, but it's not going to work.
Oh, jeez.
So maybe the strikes were down to De Silva and Beckers. But don't try and drag me into their mistakes.
Mademoiselle Conrad, if you are so confident of your
a whole
innocence,
chapter of things we already know.
Perhaps we should begin with you.
Strong-minded, deflected in the past, a more aggressive approach.
You don't need to imply it's only me that does. Ask any of my journalists, they'll say the same.
Even if in the process people... You knew the situation surrounding the strikes, and only sought to swell the anger in people and create further chaos. Mademoiselle, you so often have something to say. Now is not the time for silence.
You really are delusional.
Maybe you should just keep your theories and claims to yourself. You obviously have no idea what goes on in my world. I would say stick to honest police work, but it seems that it's not in your field either.
This one.
Look, it's...
Mademoiselle, I do not have time for your excuses. Do you wish to state your direct involvement, or should I?
It's not...
Yay!
Okay, fine. Yes, the story was going nowhere. There was a deal on the table, and it was going to be done and dusted. Everything you said is true. I wanted the story. The scoop that would have blown the others out of the water. I never wanted anyone to get hurt. But I can see what I did wasn't right. I didn't think you had this side in you. I can see now why Angeline asked for you personally. You're not like other cops. It's clear it's the law and doing the right thing through and through with you. If you say it was self-defense, I believe you.
We can't just forget what that girl has done.
Oh, jeez.
It's not Jackie's fault, or any of ours, that she decided to do what she did.
Monsieur Beckers.
gosh. Thank you, Nay.
We talked only last night, and correct me if I am wrong, but you have already declared the role you played. To me, at least.
Yes, we talked.
Oh, jeez. I have to go through all of them?
To attack Jackie like that. Putting word...
Playing the role of ally.
Detective, I'm afraid you're misunderstood. That is not how it was. It was not my intention for things to escalate as they did. I could not have predicted that would happen. Jackie was documenting everything to do with the strikes. She wanted our story to be heard and wanted to know how I was handling the negotiations.
And they were handled by yourself?
No.
Naturally. No, it wasn't like that.
This is not a tale that has been created. The facts I speak came directly from your mouth yesterday. Why is it you cannot admit she exploited your passion and desire for your men in front of the other guests?
Nothing. You're right, Detective.
There we go.
I have tried so hard to deny my part, but I know only too well that my decisions led to the death of those men. I know I cannot excuse what I've done. I just want you all to know that I am not a hateful or malicious man. I only wanted to prove that I was the right man. I have lived in other shadows for so long. I thought I would be able to finally step into the light and be the one that everyone remembered, not forgot. Monsieur da Silva offered me a deal and I turned it down. I thought I was doing right by the workers, but it was only myself I was thinking about.
What more proof do you need? He said it himself. I made a generous offer to reach a resolution, and he turned his nose up at it.
It was not that simple. An offer was made, but Monsieur Beckers and the workers would never have been forced into that position had their working conditions been satisfactory to begin with.
This is outrageous!
Hold on. All right. Can't imagine he's being forthcoming. He's gonna need some convincing.
It may be a big deal to you, but I am used to workers not being happy with something. And most of the time, that unhappiness is directed at me. When you're in charge of your own factory, you'll understand. I handled the situation the best I could. If you... You said it. Anonymous.
Damn.
I don't know them, and it doesn't sound like they know me. When you have something people want, money, they will do anything, including constructing lies to get their hands on it.
Monsieur da Silva, you seem to have forgotten our previous conversations.
Do you really think this is the first time blame has fallen at my feet? Although I don't think I've seen someone try so hard before to even convince themselves of what they are saying.
Have you not learnt enough already from having your factories closed? If you have any hope to return to normality, you must admit your faults and accept the repercussions.
I may have been a little harsh with my staff. I only wanted to prepare them for the realities of this world. I was never given the opportunities that they have today, and I succeeded. All they do is demand more and more at the factories and at the house. How am I meant to keep a good profit if every franc is going to them? I offered what I could. I was willing to meet in the middle. But maybe that wasn't enough. Swallowing one's pride is no easy feat. But if it means that a young girl will receive fair judgment, I am prepared to do it.
Merci, monsieur.
What now, Detective? Is this absurdity going to continue much longer?
Guess we're doing you next. Cool.
Even after all your attempts, Detective, Felix was still murdered. Self-defense or not, she chose to hide what she had done because she knew what she had done was wrong. And she will be punished for it.
It was not choice to hide anything, madame. If in her position, I ask, what would you have done? The Major has already furiously thrown an object at you, barely missing your head, and now has hold of your arm.
I wouldn't have driven a knife into him, that I can tell you for sure. She is no fool. She intended to kill, not to defend.
And Bosch will be a much greater challenge, right, whatever. I must persuade her that it was the Major's actions.
Quite presumptuous of you to assume violence is in his nature.
Okay.
Putting my own feelings towards the Major aside, he was not an honorable man, at least at some time in his life. He must have been for you to allow him in your house for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
So, even you confirm he had a history of aggression.
I'm sure that is none of my business.
The Major shot and killed a number of unarmed prisoners as they were bound and terrified, posing no threat. His actions are unforgivable and should not be defended by anyone.
You judge him so harshly, but I return the question. What would you have done in his position?
He made mistakes, really?
I did not know the circumstances of it. If he made that choice, he must...
S'il te plaît, madame. I ask...
My friend has been murdered in cold blood, and I will see to it that your Elizabeth will...
I knew that you had a cold heart, but never would I have expected to see you turn on a young girl so cruel.
Excuse me?
She may have been the one that held the knife, but look at the monster that stood before her. It could not be clearer the type of man... No, I shall refrain from offending men everywhere. The type of creature that he was. He bribed, he extorted, he murdered. And yet when he attacks a young girl and she does us a favor and stops him for good, she is punished.
I'm sorry, Margot, but I am struggling to understand why you have involved yourself in this affair.
Because that girl does not deserve your judgment. You should be ashamed of yourself. You all should be for allowing this to happen.
Comtesse, when I last gathered you all together, I spoke of a blackmail ring that was rife in the area. Mademoiselle Angeline requested my help personally after she received such a letter threatening her family name. She felt I was the only one that could uncover the truth. And uncover the truth I have.
Get on with it, detective. Who dared try and extort my family and then have the gall to allow me to welcome them into my home?
If it was not for the honesty of a young servant, I would perhaps still be...
For goodness sake, it was me.
Margot.
While it looked as though the Countess
Wow.
was helping the young women at the shelter, she was in fact only finding them positions of employment in wealthy homes to gather information on them and learn secrets that she would ultimately be able to use
Is
against
this an
them.
R case? Like a murder case?
Monsieur da Silva fell victim to her network of moles and was in turn blackmailed. It was quite the prosperous setup you had, knowing that they would not be prepared to lose their social standing if a secret was to find its way from where it had been hidden for so long.
That cannot be true, Margot. How could you do such a cruel thing?
That is rich, coming from you.
You are one of my oldest friends.
High and mighty Madame van den Bosch. You think you can do what you
No.
wish when you wish it and there will be no repercussions. You are as bad as all of them.
If I do not get a straight answer out of you, I will march you to the police station myself.
I'm surprised it took the Major this long to start living with you. He must have been on the edge for some time.
How dare you speak to me like that? In my own home.
A home you share with the father of your daughter for so many years, and she still remains none the wiser.
You have no right.
Maman,
Angeline? Have you heard what she has admitted to? She is merely trying to make herself...
is what she says true? Felix, he was my father? That is the secret that the letter was talking about, isn't it? You told me that we had nothing to hide. Detective Poirot, were you aware of this?
Oui, mademoiselle. But it was not my place to repeat.
I don't understand. What about father?
Your maman betrayed the love of a good, honest man and played away behind his back and then kept it hidden for all these years like a lady of the night with her client list.
You will say no more. Angeline, I...
Did Felix know?
This is not an appropriate conversation.
He knew, dear girl. He knew the whole time. It is only
Margot's
dear
just like
Edwin that was
dishing it
blind to
out.
their deceit.
You will not talk of him like that. You will not talk of him at all.
If I don't, who will? You never deserved him. You don't even deserve the memory of him.
Countess, there is something that you still have not explained.
What more is there for her to say?
How long were you in love with the Viscount for?
What?
Margot? Is that true?
We were destined to be together. And then you turned up. And I was all but forgotten about.
But you were nothing more than friends.
And you made sure of that, didn't you? From the day you arrived, it was all about what you wanted and what you had to do to get it. You didn't consider Edwin at all. He was just a purse to you.
I loved my husband, and I miss him every day.
Loved him enough to stray?
Both of you, no more.
Please, Angeline, let me explain.
Maman, I do not wish to hear anything else from you.
Who's
Not
watching
even
Elizabeth?
your own daughter wants to hear your lies anymore. Cassandra van den Bosch, all alone.
How dare you!
Poirot's like, I'm out.
While I feel a sense of satisfaction and pride in solving both cases, there is still a part of me that is reluctant to revel in triumph. I am content with the unmasking of Comtesse de Vos as the blackmailer, and knowing that she will pay for her crimes. But it is the justice for Mademoiselle Elizabeth that worries me. She will stand in a court of law, and I can only hope that they can see she acted in self-defense, I must trust that our legal system and justice will prevail, and a fair sentencing will be given. In protecting her own life, she took the life of another. Perhaps the guilt she must live with is a greater punishment than any sentence she can receive.
I swear, if there's like a whole chapter around the court
Countess
case...
de Vos was taken from Nemoziné House in cuffs and placed under arrest. Although she initially tried to plead her innocence, Inga, along with a number of other girls that the Countess had found employment for, came forward and made full statements. She was charged with 5 counts of blackmail and extortion and sent to a house of corrections, where she will have a new life to become accustomed to. Monsieur Sterling and Mademoiselle Rihanna were also reprimanded for their participation. While they may not be facing time in prison, tampering with a crime scene and obstruction of a police investigation are certainly not something that houses and new employers will look positively on. Mademoiselle Angeline finally became Madame Demire, and together they took up residence in England, where Monsieur Demire continues to support and fight for fairness and equality in London. I am happy to say that we have remained in contact, and Madame Demire has become a regular correspondent of mine, and the latest joyous news is that they are expecting a child of their own. After Madame Vandenbosch's secret was revealed to the world, her position in the social hierarchy was no more, disappearing in a moment. While she still resides in Belgium, I believe she has had to adapt to a far more modest way of life. A humbling experience for her, I am sure. Madame Demire has not mentioned her maman in a single letter. After the discovery of her real father and how she had been lied to for so many years, I am not surprised if her departure from Belgium was somewhat an act of separation from her maman. Mademoiselle Conrad left Nemoziné House the same way she entered, confident in herself and audacious in her opinions. Her report of the Major's murder at the house and the surrounding blackmails became one of the most talked about stories of the year. While there were certain details of her own involvement that did not make it to print, she was really quite complimentary about the detective at the heart of the case. Monsieur da Silva tried to continue in his position as factory owner and business entrepreneur, but after his accounts and business dealings were investigated following the details of his blackmail being made public in Mademoiselle Conrad's article, his illustrious business empire began to crumble and is now facing an international corporate investigation. Monsieur Becker stepped down from his position as union leader, accepting that he was no longer fit to represent the workforce that, in his words, he had let down on a scale of unmeasurable proportion. Although he is no longer the voice of the workers, he continues to support them from behind the scenes. Monsieur Zachariah and his brother made amends, and returning to his family home, and after sobering up, he was able to find the help that he required. I understand that he is now helping fellow soldiers with similar conditions. And Mademoiselle Elizabeth. She stood before a court and was found guilty of second-degree murder. She was sentenced to time in a female correctional house on the outskirts of the city. Alone in a foreign country with no friends or family for support, it will certainly be a hard life for her there. Her mental and physical strength will surely be tested to their limits, but she could not go unpunished. Without repercussions, we would become a society of animals. The death of Elizabeth's beloved Luc has been at the center of everything. Had those in positions to help not acted with only themselves in mind, perhaps he would still be alive today, and the Major would have paid the price for his own crimes in the eyes of the law, not at the blade of a knife. The blood of Major Felix Egan will remain on Elizabeth's hands. A stain that wherever she is and whatever she may do, she will never be able to wash clean. However, it will remain as a reminder to not only her, but all of us, of what we as human beings are capable of to protect ourselves. We all have something that may be considered shameful or sinful, and it is how we deal with it that shows our true character.
Hello
Those
there.
involved in the riots, the workers' deaths, and the Major's killing believed themselves to be untouchable. Whether it was from their social standing or their confidence in themselves, they learned that everyone is accountable for their actions.
Great story.
There is no
Compelling
exemption
and
because
rich.
of the suit you wear or the money in your bank account. There is no price to a man's life.
It keeps
It
going!
cannot be bought or traded or discarded. No man is better than another, including Detective Hercule Poirot.
Sweet baby cheeses. Oh no! It is a philosophy lesson. Woof. Whoa! Hey!
Victory screech!
Okay. So... Okay. I didn't hate it for the story, okay? Nay! Oh my gosh. All right, from a story perspective, I appreciated the twists and turns it took. It was way too long. Way too long. And all dialogue. The mind map thing was cool, I guess, but no spice. Go on. And then Toothless. I'm gonna turn this off in a second. I will take this away. Don't make me pull this stream over. Oh.
How about new?
Listen, y'all.
You in jail. Right away. No trial, no nothing. Out right to jail. Right away. You in jail. Right away.
Nay!
No trial, no nothing. Out right to jail. Right away.
I'll do it. Do we at least get tea and biscuits in jail? No, Pickup is not in charge of my jail. It is not tea and biscuits or scones. It is kitty poop. You have to scoop the litter box. That's jail. It really is jail. Pickup will smuggle it in. Oh, if it's coming in through the litter box, I wouldn't eat it. But that's jail. I have 6 cats. There's plenty of litter. Get to work. That's jail. Woof.
You gotta be quicker than that.
On a scale of 1 to 10. Nay! In my jail, you get scones, but you have to come in. Let's go on. Let's go on. Scale of 1 to 10. 1 being bad, 10 being it was awesome. What would you rate this? Spice! What would you rate it? What did you think? I'm rating it a 5. That's where I sit. Not enough puzzles. Way too long. But a good story. That's about it. I don't enjoy it. Yeah, a lot of dialogue. Me too. 3 Abydos. Damn. Nay, 6.2. Okay. Okay. Is that a quarter of 3/4? So I think tomorrow we'll start Seekers Can Kill. Cause that was Spice's point redemption. Yay! Yeah, way too talky. I agree. Yeah, I agree. True to the genre, I agree. I feel like that would be pretty close to what.
Victory screech!
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I feel like that's Agatha Christie for sure. That was Aveline for a second.
Breaking news! ND will be calling Ned tomorrow!
I don't remember if we can call Ned in that one or not. I don't remember. Oh my gosh. All right, you guys. I'm hungry. My food's on the way. Depends on the version. Mr. Hippie! Oh my gosh!
Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.
You guys are ridiculous.
Okay, I love you. Bye-bye. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.
I appreciate the level of troll
I love you. Bye-bye.
that you all waited. All right, I will see you tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern. Nancy Drew stream tomorrow.
Okay, I love you. Bye-bye. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.
Oh my lord.
Out of here.
Semper Booby. Bye.